All right, today we got a beast of a power station from Mango Power. All right, so this is the Mango Power E, and it has 3.5 kilowatts of lithium iron phosphate battery, and the cells are made by CATL. That's a really reputable manufacturer of cells. It has a 3,000 watt inverter, and it can take 2,000 watts of solar. All right, so let's take a closer look. On the front, we've got four 120 volt AC outlets. They're 20 amps a piece. We got one 30 amp outlet. This is your standard RV 30 amp plug. We have our cigarette lighter style jack. We have two 12 volt DC barrel jacks. We have a 65 watt and a 100 watt USB-C. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB-A style jacks here. Our power button. And then we have a touch screen. So this screen is real slick. It's very readable, and you can touch it to change settings on it. So we've got our max AC input current. You can do 10, 15, and you can do 30 amps, but I believe you got to have a special AC cable to handle that. So with the AC cable that it comes with, you can do 15 amps. It has a battery backup capacity, 85, 90, 95%. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It has little icons on the side here giving us some indications. We got a Bluetooth icon, we've got Wi-Fi. On the touch here, we can turn on the AC and DC outputs. So there's the DC output turned on, and then the AC output, we can turn that on here. It has two modes for the AC. You can just have the AC output on, or you can also have this backup mode. So with the backup mode, it works like a UPS. So you can plug in your AC power cord, and it passes through AC power to whatever devices you have here. It just passes directly through. And if you lose your grid AC power, then it'll switch over and run right off the battery. So that's what that backup mode is. You do have to have it in that mode for the UPS to work. But if you're just normally discharging through AC, you can just use this AC output mode. All right, so let's take a look on the side. And we've got our solar input. You can take 2,000 watts, and I believe it's 150 volt max. We've got our grid AC input. That can go up to 3,000 watts. It has an E-Link port, so this is where you can, I believe this is where you can link multiple of these together for parallel operation. So you can link two of these together, and then you can have 240 volts and also have the double capacity and a 3,000 watt and a 3,000 watt inverter. And then it has this E-Link port. This is for an expansion battery. So these do have expansion batteries that you can hook up. And this thing does weigh about 100 pounds. So it's a little heavy, but luckily it is on wheels, and it has a retractable handle. So we can just slide that guy up, kick it back, and it rolls just fine. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it over to the side of my house and hook it up to my RV. All right, so here's my RV, and here is the 30 amp plug that we are going to plug into the Mango Power E. Alrighty, let's turn the AC output on. Alright, so we've got some power coming out, looks like 80 watts. That's going to be the charger for my RV. It is quite dead. I think somebody left something turned on. Alright, so here's a good time to pull up the app. There we go. And the app works really good, actually. The nice thing is, once you get this hooked up to Wi-Fi, you can use this app from anywhere. So as I've been testing this unit, I've been pulling this app up at the grocery store, at work, and it works really well. All right, so let's go inside and turn on some loads. All right, so here's the big question. Will it start my AC? Yeah, cranked right up. So let's take a look at the app here and see what we've got going on. Showing 605 watts coming out. Let's turn it on high. There we go. Now it's on high. We got over 1,000 watts coming out. Very nice. And so it's 88 degrees in here right now. And it is 9:12. So I'm gonna close up the doors. I'm just gonna let this thing run for a little while, and we'll see how well it cools down and how much battery we use. We're actually at 97% state of charge right now, pulling 1,376 watts. So like I said, I'll just let this thing run, and then we'll come back in a little bit. All right, so it is now 9:43, and our outside temperature, the ground is 102 Fahrenheit. That's Texas for you guys. Oh, it feels great in here already. That was not very long. All right, so let's see what we got. We got 77. If I move up here where the vent's been blowing, 74, 73. So it's perfectly comfortable in here now. So what I want to do, let's turn this down since we don't need it blasted on high. So let's go to low, and let's take a look at the app. So we're down to 70%. We're still pushing out 1,490 watts. So let's turn this down so hopefully it'll start to cycle maybe. And I just want to let it keep running. I want to see how long it'll run. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I'm monitoring the Mango Power E from inside my sunroom, and we are down to 24%. We are currently only pulling 204 watts. That's because the compressor has cycled off since we turned it down, and I've just been watching it. It'll cycle off for a little while, and then it'll come back on and go up to like 1,400 watts. But it's still cruising along, and the time right now is 11:46. So I'll just let it keep on going, and I'll give you an update here in a little bit. All right, so it is 2:41. All right, so I just noticed during editing, I said 2:41, and I meant to say 12:41.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
And it has finally gone down to 0 and turned off the AC output. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to charge it back up to 100% using our AC grid power. We're going to do it at the 15 amp because that's the cable that I have. You can charge it much faster if you have the 30 amp cable, but I don't have it. So let's plug it in. There we go. And we're going to start a timer. And we want to also hit this quick charge button. That way we make sure to charge as fast as possible. All right, there we go. Looks like we are doing 1,527 watts. 1,550 now. All right, so I'll just let that charge up, and I'll be back when it's complete. Okay, it just hit 100, so let's stop the timer. And we got 2 hours, 26 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a usable capacity test through the AC outputs here. And we're going to run this AC as the load. We are sitting at 100%. So let's go ahead and turn the AC output on. All right. And then we'll turn our air conditioner on. Oh, I think it's actually already coming on. So we are on low there. And let's just check to make sure we are zeroed out. Yep. So we are starting at 0 on the kilowatts. So we'll just let that run. And whenever it's fully depleted here, I'll come back and we'll take a look at the results. All right, so the test is completed. We have drained the Mango Power E all the way down. It is now completely shut off. So I need to pull this kilowatt meter out and plug it into my grid power here so we can get the readings. All right, so we got 2.88 kilowatt hours. Okay guys, so while I've been testing this, I've discharged this unit many times. Many times it's discharged overnight. I've just left stuff running on it. And there's something that I've discovered that I want to show you, and that is when this unit is fully discharged down to 0% stated charge, what it does, it'll turn off the AC output as you would expect, and it'll still continue just being powered on, but at 0% stated charge. Now, at some point, if you let it set long enough, it'll power completely down, like there's no more power for it to even run itself. And that is actually the state that we're in right now. We can try to turn it back on, and nothing's going to happen. It is completely powered down. Now, the only thing that can wake it up from this state is you have to apply AC power. Solar power will not wake it up from this state, and I'll show you. So let's go ahead and try to plug solar power in. So as you can see, we've got this hooked up to my solar panels, and I've got 3 solar panels. These, not all 4, but these 3 out here in series, and there's sun on them. So let's go ahead and check our voltage on the solar. And we have 113.26 volts. So let's go ahead and plug this in to the Mango into a solar port. There we go. And so nothing happening yet. No power. And you could actually just leave that set in there and still nothing will happen. I'll just go ahead and let it set there for a little bit of time. So it's 10:39 right now. We'll wait a little bit and I'll come back to check it again. All right, so we've waited a little bit of time. It is now 10:46. And let's go ahead and try to turn it on. So we've, still got nothing. And we can also check to see if any power is coming in. And it's not accepting any power from the solar. All right, so to recover from this, you do have to use the AC power. So here's the AC power cord plugged into my extension cord. Let's go ahead and remove the solar power. And then let's plug in our AC power. There we go. And immediately I heard a click. And now we are booting up. So we're showing loading. Okay, so now we're back. And now at this point we can actually plug our solar in and we should start to charge. There we go. See, we've got 480 watts powering from our grid, and then we've got some solar coming in here. And we should be able to unplug the AC power now that we've got it booted back up. So AC power's out. And we're now just charging from solar. Alright, so there you go. I just wanted to show you guys what I discovered there. Alright, so while we're on the subject of solar, my panels, all 4 of them are in full sun. Well, actually the sun is a little bit behind the panels back here, but there's no shading. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see how hard we can push this thing. I've already been testing it in the past and it is quite impressive with the solar capabilities. Also, these are now in 2 in series. So these are in series, these other 2 are in series, and then those are in parallel. So 2 series, 2 parallel. All right, so let's go ahead and plug that solar configuration in. All right. Now look at that. We've got over 1,000 watts. Oh, 1,100 watts. 1166. Looks like we've kind of settled in around 1179, 75. So around 1175. And it's just going to get better because, like I said, you can look at the shadows here. The sun is actually a little behind my panel. So once it kind of comes over and gets right directly on them, it's going to be full blast. And I actually have a screen capture of one day. I took a look at it. This is just a screenshot from a previous day, but I was getting 1,612 watts on that day. So I took a little screenshot just to save it. That's pretty awesome. This is the first solar power station that I've had in my possession that could do that much solar, so that's pretty exciting for me. Anyways, I'm gonna let this thing just keep going. Like I said, eventually that sun will come over and hit these panels directly, and when it does, we'll come back and check the production. Alright guys, so I went ahead and propped these panels up to angle them more towards the sun. We actually do have a little bit of shading right here at the top. Right there, but that should go away real soon. I did hose them off with some water to cool them down. Just trying to get as much out of them as possible. But look at our production right now. This thing is doing 1,462 watts. Now we got 1,466, 1,469. Just saw. Oh look, 1,476. Alright, so I'll just let it keep on going and I'll be back here in just a bit. Alright, check it out. We're over 1,500 watts now. 1516, 1521. Pretty awesome. 1557. We might get to that 1600 that I saw that one day. Yeah, we might just be tapped out for the day. I'm saying it just pretty much stick around 1550. I just saw 1559. Oh, there's 1562. Oh, we're still going. I just saw 1563. Yeah, I think we're getting close to just pretty much tapping out what those panels can do. I'll just let it keep on charging. If I see anything higher, I'll come back. All right, guys, so now I've got this heater hooked up. I've got the AC hooked up, and then I've got one of my crypto mining rigs hooked up, and I've just been kind of pushing this AC output load on the inverter. And right now we're doing 2,237 watts. I can actually ramp that up, turn the heater up some more here. There we go. So now we're doing 2,668. Up 2,700 watts now. So let's try it on high. All right, so now we've got, oh, we're over 3,000 watts now. We got 3,078. So that's technically over the limit. So maybe we need to turn something down a little bit. There we go, turn the heater down some. I did hear a fan kick on. That's about the first time I've heard that fan really kick on. And it's still not very loud. Let's see, maybe we can turn the AC down to medium. Trying to get it closer to that 3,000 watt load without going over. There's 2,800. Well, there we go. There's 2,922. 2,900. Now it's settled down to 2,789. Yeah, I'll just let that run for just a little bit here, and we'll see how well it does. All right, so we've drawn it down to 78%. We've been pulling 2,768 watts. So pretty close to that 3,000 watt limit. And I went ahead and hooked up the oscilloscope, and we are getting a nice solid pure sine wave there. So it looks pretty good. Alright guys, so I think that's going to be it for the video. As always, I love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about this unit. Leave links in the description, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.